about 4 or 5 years. It's the first thing that my company's ever produced, so it was a big story for us.
It's nice to hear something nice once in a while. You hear a lot of other stuff, a lot, you know what I mean?
Our fall collection is, the Sweet Face collection is very 50s and 60s kind of inspired, but we always throw in our street edge, you know, because that's what J-Lo, the line J-Lo has always been, you know, it has that kind of sexy feminine thing, but also that kind of street sophistication as well. We just thought it would be a nicer thing to do a smaller, last time it was so big, you know, it was just the biggest, craziest experience of my life, and I just wasn't ready to do it again. I said, I'll do that again in 2 years. We work in a very professional manner. We always have. We met working, so it's never been anything that we really think about. We just do it.
But Charlie and I are similar in that we both believe very much in love, and we believe Prince Charming's out there, and there are going to be obstacles to overcome, but if it's worth it, you got to go for it, you know. So it's a sweet movie, it's a funny movie, it's a little bizarre with some of the fantasy scenes and us kind of beating on each other, but it's fun.
It was great. I mean, the premise alone was so much fun to be these guys with adult lives who fall back into adolescence. And yeah, we had a great time.
Well, it's basically the story of my character, Harold Crick, who's somewhat of an unassuming, boring, mundane guy who works for the IRS and just kind of goes about his life in a very structured way. They were actually surprisingly comfortable. And John Heater and I were both jealous of each other's outfits, to be honest, because he got to dress as a peacock, you know, I got to dress like fire. It's tough. It's tough when you have such amazing costumes.
A lot of it was the voice, which you have to have, you know, you have to have a rich timbre to it. The voice has to be commanding and slightly seductive. Are you feeling it?
I had skated a little bit, but this was pretty much starting from scratch. which it's very easy. Ice skating's not as hard as it looks.
Once in a lifetime kind of opportunity, and to get to work with this cast, this amazing cast, and like you said, to get to do something that Mel Brooks wrote and, you know, carried so long. This is kind of a dream come true.
Definitely John. John was, I called him my little show pony because he could do little tricks and funny little hops, and I just stood in the center and spend a lot. Yeah.
TV news is such a fun area to kind of, you know, have a little fun with, and especially those styles and attitudes from the '70s. So we had a great time. I think it shows in the movie.
Not only is there a physical attraction between the two, but I think that my character has an artistic eye and an understanding of Vermeer's passion and how incredible his work is, and appreciation that he's never received from any of the other women in the household.
You know, we are basically playing two kind of idiotic characters, just, you know, traipsing all over London looking for this, you know, murder suspect, and it's just, it's a kind of classic Woody Allen comedy. As far as London being a safe place, I mean, I feel as safe here as I do anywhere. You know, I love London. It's, you know, you can't, these are things that you can't predict, that you can't prevent. Inspiration for the Spring/Summer 2007 line was sort of, I mean, I'm not very athletic, of course, but I liked the idea of that kind of Olivia Newton-John, let's get physical, women exercising in false eyelashes.
I mean, Lost in Translation was also so low budget that it was, you know, it wasn't like all of a sudden I came onto some, you know, from some fantastic, you know, shoot to some small production. I mean, certainly I was exhausted and I was really emotionally vulnerable, and I just kind of figured I would stay that way for another couple months.
About it. It was very surprising, and you know, the Hollywood Foreign Press has always been really, really lovely and supportive of me, and now I have to figure out what to wear.
Well, I think we were looking for, we were shooting Match Point, and I always loved Woody as a director and a comedian and a writer and as an actor, and we had such a nice banter between us that I said, well, I wish we could act together.
Says in the poster, it's not over till it's over. It's about how do you get rid of that, as Rocky says, stuff in the basement? There's still stuff down there. There's still something burning. Besides the insights, we're going to show all the commercials. We're going to show behind the scenes boxing tips and training, and all those things. They keep getting better and better. And the one that, and be sure the run with Rocky Balboa is going to be really extraordinary, because that's the one where we really shot a tremendous amount of footage behind, because I wasn't aware that you were to have DVDs when I was doing the other ones.
Yeah, I do. I do still, believe it or not, exercise. It's not natural. It takes a little bit of work, and I work out about 3 times a week. And I found, as I get older, you have to be a little bit more scientific.
I want to thank the Smithsonian for this extraordinary gift to me, and gift to my children, and gift to all the Rockies out there that have supported the idea that you can maybe not be born with all the assets in the world, and maybe not be the fastest and strongest or the most handsome, but through perseverance, you can achieve goals. They may not be world-class goals, but they're personal goals. My wife said, "You're going to regret doing this movie if you do it, because, there's a lot at stake." And I said, "You're probably right."
But anyway, he has been an incredible filmmaker, a rare breed, an endangered species. Actually, a fellow with heart and taste, and also a passion to keep going. So anyway, I think the best is yet to come with you. And you've been a fantastic man, a great humanitarian, and keep punching.
You have made me feel extraordinarily special. And Rocky, of course, is part of everybody. I don't claim ownership anymore. Really, the reason the story worked is because all of us have a need to feel fulfillment in their life.
this particular genre of music because it gives artists a place to unleash and talk about things that, you know, may not be so PC or...
Matrix, what Matrix did was really help me take my body to a whole nother level, which I think people will see in this film that you really didn't get to see in the last film. Like, you know, I was benching a lot of weight and with my arms and my legs. And so now I'm back to more of a normal regimen.
One of the reasons why I didn't go to the industry and I decided to do this on my own is because I knew I was going to get kind of the response that, well, why do this? You know, we could make you the next Jennifer Lopez, or, you know, we can hook you up with Beyonce as producer.
They never forget about the sex, you know what I mean? You get classy and you get the sex, and you don't always get that with every, you know, with all designers.
Well, no, it's just an aspect of who I am, you know? It's like we're all made of many things, and this is just part of the whole. I mean, it's really up to him. I mean, he decided that he wanted to audition for this particular role, and he got it, and it seems like it's something that he wants to continue to do. And I mean, for Will and I, this is what we do. This is what we know. This is where we can be most helpful, you know? So by all means, it would sure do us some good if it's, you know, something that he wants to do. So I don't mind it at all.
Will really loves, I think what he loves most is he knows that this road that I'm traveling is the road less traveled by.
Well, he still has to clean his room. He still has chores around the house. So yeah, I think he gets it. He's not really on that level yet. So it's all good.
I'm perhaps hard to imagine, but even more nostalgic for it now than I was then. I mean, I think I've said many times publicly, I think I was the happiest employee in the world.
I read scripts that were more familiar, you know, parts that were more familiar, but what's so special about this was that not only was the role of Marin is so different than anything I played, but she was among many beautifully written characters in a really beautifully told story. You know, to be honest, I had wanted and thought of doing a fragrance for literally like the last 20 years. And I knew that if I could find a great mentor, that would probably be the first thing that I'd like to do. What kind of work I put in? You know, I got the script last night. We only got here last evening, and we'd been here about 5 years ago and always planned to come because we have a holiday home in Ireland, but we just never get to, and it's very exciting to be here, especially for this particular event.
I surely would consider it. I mean, it's not something that I respond to immediately, just viscerally. I'm not the best audience for those movies. I don't know. I always think, oh, those are boy movies.
My oldest and most significant memory is trick-or-treating for UNICEF with all of my brothers and sisters, as well as most of the children in my very, very populated neighborhood. It was just apparent right away that people just sort of, I don't know, it was alchemy. You know, people just really liked each other. We spent all our time off camera together. We enjoyed being with one another. I think we loved watching each other work. I certainly learned a lot about acting from a lot of these people.
But I think what Tom Bazooka, the screenwriter and director, did so well is that he really, rather than just write an archetype of some, brittle, cold, withholding, ambitious woman, I think he really wrote a real person who just has great difficulty relating to other people.
So now I am a parent, and I can't imagine doing anything any differently. I too want to promote my children, just like my mother did, and just as Trick or Treating for UNICEF does.